Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Fatal Frame 2. I'm not taking this game as seriously as I should do, and for that, I apologise. But hey, I did show off what happens when you listen to the Moonstone that we got in that last episode, right? So, at least I got that going for me. As mentioned in the previous video, we've now defeated the ghosts that were holding this building shut, and we can now leave. This particular portion of the game, we have to follow the route that our sister took, because she's run off, and we are now free, which apparently is a bad thing and can't last. Obviously we have to take the same route that she took during her bizarre elsewhere scenario. Oh hey, there she is again. Clearly she didn't get all that far while we were mostly stood around getting killed by the very easiest boss fights. I'm never going to let myself live that down, by the way. I always like this particular camera angle. Well, the one that's just now gone off the screen, because, well, it puts me in mind, A, of Silent Hill 1, the bit when you go down the little alleyway with the wheelchair in it. Oh yeah, I like how we're just ambling along, but come cutscene time we're running. It also reminds me of how cramped and claustrophobic the whole area is. Now, that's not necessarily what we need to take a picture of right now, because we have a cute little fight coming up. In this particular case, we're fighting the Seeker and the Pole Bearer. There's no real backstory to these guys, they're just, well, two guys who are protecting their village against something that I'm not going to mention because of spoilers. I always like that guy at the back, the Pole Bearer. Mainly because he reminds me of Paul Bearer, the WWF character. Now, okay, watching late 80s to mid-late 90s wrestling is one of my guilty little pleasures, and be sure you know that I say this without a hint of sarcasm, Paul Bearer was one of the best characters from that particular era. He was a melodramatic pantomime caricature of himself, and really he needs to come back. Okay, now we can take a picture of the gate. What do you know? Crimson butterflies. We also need some keys to open the thing. Now, before we go away, there's a hidden item, if only I can remember where it is. Hey! There's some herbal medicine beside the tree. And there's another one hidden off just underneath the statue to the left. Once again, we've got some suspicious video game generosity going on. So this particular part of the game is kind of a side quest. Except not, because the game does have side quests, and they aren't like this. We need to head up this ramp. Up this ramp. And we need to go into the house. Breaking and entering, the video game. Just ahead of us, yet another jar of medicine. And let's head upstairs. Now, we can go through this door right here, but that leads us to a locked door, and that doesn't really go anywhere, so let's head right. The stun upgrade is kind of useful, more so than the slow upgrade that we picked up earlier. But, do you know what? I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, or whatever. Generally speaking, I don't use the camera's upgrades, with the exception of one that you get really late on in the game, that, I'll be kind of honest with you, I am going to spam it now that I have it, and it's at the beginning of the game. Ah, there we go. I knew there was some notes somewhere. Now, there is a ghost that likes to spawn in this house, and she's a good friend of mine, in fact. And we might see her, we might not. In any case, let's head downstairs and go to a room that I didn't actually mention. Let's watch a creepy experimental movie, how about? The colour of infinity inside an empty glass. And, well, aside from that one Ring reference, this movie really is not going anywhere, is it? It is actually foreshadowing something that we're going to see quite a ways later in the game, by which point you'll actually have forgotten that it was even there. I'm going to take that film because, well, my inflated sense of entitlement means that I want it. And let's go out. But as we leave... Well, how about that? Usually she doesn't spawn. I was all getting myself set up to be disappointed. Except now I'm more disappointed that she's here. Can you guess who we're going to fight now that we're up here? If she chooses to spawn. I mean, the game says that she has. Oh, hey! Yep, you can't really see it very well, but... this is Broken Neck. And I suppose this gives me a good as chance as any to explain how the new camera works. Whereas before, if you stayed focused on a ghost, you would charge up your shot, so you could theoretically snipe it. Can't do that in this one. The closer you get to a ghost, the more the charge goes up. So basically it's like playing chicken. You have to get right up close to the ghosts. And if possible, wait for them to attack you so that you can get a decent set of shots. Really, it means that the fights are quite a lot scarier than they were in the first game because, well, there really is zero chance of sniping. You have to get right up close and terrify yourself. Now, we actually have to go back, despite what I said before, and despite the way that this game seems to work. The butterflies kind of act as a guide for us. Except, really, although we are free to roam, there's not really a great deal of places to roam. The game gives a very good impression of being absolutely immense in terms of size, when in reality it's not actually as big as it likes to make out. Also, while it took us at least past the first chapter to meet some of the random attacking ghosts, this game throws them at us from now, so we have to be kinda careful and, ideally, quick. When the filament glows, we have to aim through that door and we find the Frozen Man. We can assume that this house belongs, or belonged, to the Man in the Dark, or at least this is his final resting place. The Crimson Butterflies are leading us to this storehouse, but, well, we can't really go into the storehouse. The whole thing is locked up, so let's go through the door just beside them.
Yai! What are you still doing here?
Who are you?
The ritual will begin soon. If that happens...
And that guy got our name wrong. Also, fun fact, if you take a picture of him, which, well, I can't really do at the moment.
Yai! The ritual is about to start. Hurry!
So, yeah, that guy got my name wrong, and if we take a picture of him, he has a name. He is a trapped boy. Nothing particularly pertinent there. It's just a nice little feature they put into the game. And what do you know? Crimson Butterflies. Yep. The fact that Crimson Butterflies are hovering over that statue is kind of an important point. Just,
If you cannot find a way to leave the village, come and find me. I may be able to help.
thank you, Window. I certainly will. So yeah, the fact that there are Crimson Butterflies hovering over that statue, that's going to become important for the next part of the game. And we'll get to the next part of the game in the next video. So until next time, goodbye.